Alright, so I'm making this video explaining the important parts of Baldur's Gate because I'm trying to get my friend Jebediah to play it. He's pretty cool. He's like a model in LA, signed with an agency and everything. Kind of a big deal. Alright. Here's his handle, I guess. It's jebediah.wp. Follow him, tell him to play Baldur's Gate, dox him, send him death threats, whatever you feel like doing. Anyway, he ran into the same problem I did before I was buying Baldur's Gate, and that's that there's no videos or articles that actually tell you what it is. You know, like they just tell you it's the most video game accurate rendition of D&D, and that's true. But what does that like actually mean? You know, like what does that mean for the gameplay? Is it like Skyrim? Is it like a different game? Well, here I'm going to show you real quick, quick and dirty. All right, so the movement's like Diablo. You click around to move around. You've got a couple of other movement abilities, right? You can hide like Skyrim, and it'll show you the different sight paths of people and whether or not you're hidden. You can jump. Jumping is based off of your acrobatics, blah, 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 blah. If I jump up here, you'll see Karlach will follow me, but these two won't because they're soys and don't have the strength to jump. Talking to people, I would describe as a way more in-depth version of Skyrim. You know, you've got your dialogue options, but they're way, way better than anything Skyrim has. Here, I'll show you. I'll drink a potion of animal speaking so that I can speak to animals. That's a pretty cool one. And then I'll talk to the weird ox.
Still incapable.
Ooh, and then, you know, you've got your more in-depth dialogue options. Incapable of what?
Not for you to know.
He's not telling me. See, and then just like Skyrim, you've got, like, your skills. You know, like where you might use, like, speech to get out of something or whatever. So dialogue is a lot more like a way in-depth version of Skyrim. The biggest difference is that you roll. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. I need a 14 to pass this. I need a 14, I roll a 20, so I immediately persuade him to tell me what's going on.
Come close. Your mind to mine.
What's he going to show me? Yikes. Gotta kill this motherfucker.
Are you satisfied?
Right, so... what do you really...
Won't have to.
You're coming out of hiding now. He gets very upset, and this is combat. Combat, I would tell you, is like a way more in-depth version of like Fire Emblem. But instead of tiles, you've got the full range of motion, but you've got movement, right? You've got a movement meter showing how far you can move in any given direction, right? And then you also have action and bonus action. Action is really what your attack is. Bonus action is something a little bit smaller, and that varies class by class. Some classes use short actions for other shit, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so like my primary action, I can like walk up and hit this guy. And then for my, he spit out a bunch of acid, right? So my extra action can be to shove him, it can be to jump around. Nothing specifically combat oriented. You see I have a few spells here that take both actions, both an action and a bonus action. So you attack him, that's your action, you end your turn, it goes to the next character. This person's a cleric, they've got spells. As far as spells go, combat is a lot more like a resource management type thing, right? So like you've got spell slots that are replenished after each long rest, and you need like supplies for a long rest and whatnot, and there's some stuff that's replenished after short rests, like you'll see her Channel Divinity is replenished after a short rest, right? So like your spells, all your powerful spells, your healing, your damaging spells are going to be on slots, and they have different corresponding levels depending on how strong they are. And then you've got cantrips, and cantrips are just for free. It's just the primary attacks of the spellcaster, and you earn more as you go along, and you know you can get them through items or you can get them through level ups, and when you target something it'll tell you whether or not you're able to hit it and the percent chance that you'll hit it, right? So that's the general gist of it. Moving around, you got Diablo. Talking to people and story-driven, you got Skyrim but more advanced. And for combat, you've got your more complicated version of Fire Emblem combat. I think it's a great game. It is the best one-to-one thing to D&D. If you've got friends that are into D&D, it's a great way to get into it. The characters are really cool. I like all of them. There's a million different ways you can go in the story. One of the coolest things about it is that your decisions hold real impact. Like the storyline for the game can be dramatically changed by the decisions that you make in game and the people you talk to and the things that you say, right? There's a huge amount of branches for places the game can go and the story can go. It can go in so many different directions, and it's heavily influenced by what you actually choose to say and do. Another cool thing about this game, at any point with anything, if you don't know what it means, you can press T and you'll be able to inspect it, and then mouse over and it'll tell you the details of what that means, which is super helpful for me because I've never played D&D before, so I don't know what any of this shit means. I don't know what blind sight and dark vision means, okay? Well, gamers, that was Baldur's Gate. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and please don't tell me I look like James Corden in the comments.